why am I back? What is it that has brought me back to this race? And it wasn't really until after the race that I was able to articulate it, because reliving that experience of Patagonman was so poignant for me. And I said to people afterwards, it was almost like when you go and see a movie a second time and you're able to enjoy it more because you sort of know what's coming, and you can process it all more slowly, and it feels like I was living that day in high definition.
Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Your husband came also?
Yes.
I see.
He's hiding behind the camera.
He's the genius behind the
Yeah.
camera. Okay.
He just finished a race on Wednesday.
Okay,
He did
okay.
the Across Andes ultra cycling race.
Okay.
1,000 kilometers of riding here.
10,000?
1,000.
1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so
Ready
he's...
to swim, yeah?
I'm ready to swim. You swimming?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to get ready.
Let's see. Let's wait the arrive, and then I'll talk to Francisco that he knows
One of the things that's really clear to me is, almost without exception, every athlete that I speak to after the race says, the swim wasn't that bad. And it was the same the first year I raced here. The swim wasn't that bad. It's never as bad as the perception people have of it, or the worry that they put into that before the race. And one of the things I'd really recommend is going down on the Friday before the race to the practice swim at the bay, which is pretty close to where the actual swim is, because you can't get in at the location where the swim is because it's a busy port. It's really important that you get in the water before race day so you can feel what it's going to be like. I got in 4 or 5 times, but I think even if you're just here for a few days, getting in every day and just getting used to that temperature, especially if you're from somewhere that doesn't have cold water, is really important, because it will remove a lot of the anxiety for you about how the race swim will feel.
Sí, Carolina. Firma. Sí. ¿Qué color? ¿De qué país? ¿Rosa? Sí. ¿De qué país? ¿De qué país?
This race has spawned a tri club called Triathlon. John Medina, who's one of the local legends and has done Patagonman now 4 times, started the Triathlon club a few years ago. And Patagonman has really jumped into the imagination of the local community. So one of the schools brings one of the primary classes down to the beach when every athlete is there doing the practice swim. And this year they were running around getting signatures from athletes from all over the world, places they'd never heard of. And they were even getting their jumpers signed, their school jumpers signed by people, which I thought was lovely. oh my God, we're doing this. And it looks like it's going to be a full swim, which is really exciting, but also scary because, you know, it's got a long time in order. So let's see. Good luck. When you get on the ferry on race morning, there is a sense of foreboding, and I get that. You leave your crew behind, you're in just your wetsuit with your tow float and whatever else you're wearing, hat, gloves, neoprene. This year, I think the air temperature was about 4 degrees. And you huddle up on the ferry and you know that that's it now, there's no going back. It's like nearly 5 o'clock, we're in the stairwell, keeping warm-ish. And at the moment it looks like it's going to be a 3.8 swim, which is exciting. But they haven't said for sure yet, so we'll see. We're just trying to chill before the race now.
Pero bueno, ya estamos siendo protagonistas.
While you're on that ferry, stay as warm as possible. Try not to expend too much nervous energy, jumping around, shaking, you know, doing exercises. Just sit down, take some deep breaths, stay warm, huddle with other athletes, and conserve your energy, because there's a chance you'll be on that ferry for quite a long time. When I won the Patagonman in 2022, I really wanted to come back and race again. But sadly, just after that race, actually, quite early in 23, I started to get ankle problems, which kind of snowballed into me not being able to run from about May 2023. So I turned to gravel racing and threw myself into that. So hard. And sadly, I then was knocked off my bike by a guy in a gravel race and snapped 3 ligaments in my left ankle, which was the ankle I'd been having problems with anyway. And it needed surgery.
And now you have broken another one, the peroneo calcaneo. This is very important. The instability is more biggest.
So I didn't want to get surgery during the summer while all the racing was on. So I raced all summer bike racing with just rehabbing my ankle ligaments, but then I had to get surgery in November 2023. So when the Patagonman race was happening in December 2023, I was just starting to be able to walk post-surgery. And I remember following the race online and being laid up with a very swollen ankle.
Breathe deeply.
So fast forward to pre-Patagonman training for this year, it was always my goal to come back to racing long course and for my first race to be Patagonman. While the surgery I had was fantastic and the surgeon was brilliant, it's a long process coming back from such a big surgery, and I had had quite a lot of setbacks 10 days post-surgery, and I've been given the all clear to do a little bit of turboing, 15 minutes to start with, just see how it feels. And today's the first day I've done that. First day that I've had, I guess, lower level pain to even attempt. Feels okay, uncomfortable, but not really painful. So it's just nice to be moving a little bit again. And every day's better, so I think a few more days and it will feel hopefully pain-free to pedal. The longest I'd run in training was actually 22 kilometers. And I'd only done that a couple of times in training. So there was a lot of doubt in my mind as to how my body would hold up on the run. I felt like the swim was pretty rough this year, but I had a good swim. T1, I had changed my tactics a bit this year, just in terms of what I was putting on, because I've learned from previous years that layering up is really important, but that ultimately on my legs, what I have on stays on. I'm not going to stop for long enough to take off leg warmers, for example. What I will say is I did see athletes going out of T1 with too little on. And I know from speaking to people that they regretted that decision later on. So T1 is the time where it's really critical to put on all of your layers.
Okay, let's put the burners on, darling, yeah? Let's go. All done. Off you go. Look up, let's go. Put the burners on. Okay, baby, yeah? Everything okay? Okay, yeah? What's your case? Yeah? Is that okay, yeah? Okay. On the climb, right?
The first section of the bike, it's usually a very strong tailwind. It's the coldest it's going to be in the morning. It's 4-6 degrees maybe. You're wet from the swim. It's possibly raining. It's pretty much always raining down in Puerto Chacabuco.
At the top, at the cobbles, just before the climb. Just throw it anywhere. Just throw it anywhere, babe. Caroline's had to stop for the toilet. She's feeling a bit better now for obvious reasons. That's cost her the lead. She's just started the first major climb. I'm pleased to say she's retaken the lead. And there she is. Just round the corner, Caroline, just round the corner. Just from the top, yeah? This is where you've got to make inroads on the climbs, yeah? Really push it hard on the climbs. Make her suffer. So at the bottom of this climb, Caroline had lost the lead. She's now back in the lead. She's strong in the hills, so I've just told her there. That's where she's really got to push hard on these climbs. I think it's 2,000 metres of climbing, so it's to her advantage. That second female, she was in the lead at the bottom of the climb. Hopefully Caroline can keep turning the screw now a little bit. All sorted, Elsa? All good for the next one, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, she's back in the lead.
Yeah.
I think what we should do, because she wants us behind us for this big descent, we should stop and grab a coffee and then we'll catch her up.
Okay.
Yeah, should we do that? Okay. Right, so really work hard on these hills, yeah? Because she's exploded, all right? And psychologically, it's going to kill her, all right? And you've put about a minute into her already, okay? So today is just going to be hurry up and wait. Hurry up to get somewhere, then wait. Make sure Caroline, the princess, gets everything she needs. Elsa's the one who does all the looking after. You're doing really good, babe. We're going to wait here and take a time split. All right?
I have mash at the next one.
Mashed potato, yeah, okay. Tell the sun is shining, which is fantastic. They'll have a massive tailwind now, so they're going to rip along this beautiful bit of road.
The majority of the road surface is really good. And one of the things that people don't realise is that the first 120k of this bike course can be really fast. Especially after Koike, there's a number of little sort of rolling climbs. And then you hit a section where you are sort of descending with small climbs in between, but you're descending really fast and flat, and you've got a strong sort of cross tailwind, and you are clicking along at 40, 50, 60 kilometers an hour, and those kilometers go really quickly. I think mentally the thing to tell yourself on that section is, this is me making up time so that when the headwind hits on the back end of this bike course, I've got this time in the bank.
Got 12 minutes lead already. We're going to stop in about 20k, is that okay? Just see what you want.
Yeah, a split 1/3 as well.
Yeah, we'll do, yeah. Well, I've got third. Third's over 25 minutes. Yeah, so let's try and double that. Okay?
Yeah.
So we'll stop at about 20k.
Yeah.
Well done, you feel okay?
I didn't know where I was really in terms of the other athletes, the guys are ahead of me. But I knew I was in the lead for the women, and I just wanted to make sure that I had as much lead as possible. So I was really working hard. Like everyone, the headwind the headwind section of the course was tough for me. But I kept pushing, knowing I know the course really well now. So I know where that section comes to an end and how far it is. And although it feels endless at the time, it's really not that far. You've just got to get through it. So I took some mashed potato from my crew, got some mash down, got some other nutrition on board, and just got my head down, stayed in the aero position as much as possible, and pushed until I hit those curves and descended super fast into Cerro Castillo.
Okay, let's get this slick here. We're going really quick. Yeah, Vaseline's there, babe.
I came into T2 and there was another bike in there, and another guy getting changed, and it turned out second placed man, Alejandro, was also in transition at the same time as me. I think I'd just come in just after him. I got through transition really quickly, and off I went. I got a bit of a surprise about, I don't know, K into the run when I heard footsteps behind me, and I looked around and Alejandro just came up, and I thought he would go straight past me, but he just came up to me and started running with me. And it was really nice because we just fell into this rhythm running together. It's so, well, I say it's so unusual. It's never happened to me before in my whole career of racing triathlon that I've actually run with somebody for any length of time on the run. So it was surprising and it was really nice. I got to the river crossing and it was a bit deeper this year than it had been the year previously. I think it was knee deep or so. And the lovely thing about you crossing that river is that you know just around the corner from there, you come out of the sort of major trail section of the route onto the gravel road. And from that point onwards, you're just on gravel road all the way to the finish. When I did this race in 2022, I tried to run as much of the run course as I could, including the steep hills. But because of my left ankle joint not having the mobility now that it had before, I can't really run on very steep ground. Steep flat ground is difficult for me and slightly painful still. So I definitely walked more of the steep hills this year. And then what's interesting about that is that my run time ended up being slightly quicker. I don't think you make up time really on the very steep, very long hills running them. I think run as well as you can up the hill. And then at the point where it gets really steep, just walk fast up the rest of the hill. And that's the time to take on nutrition, your heart rate drops a bit, and you've got time to kind of, you know, administrate yourself as you're going up the hill. We ran really like shoulder to shoulder almost for the whole of the way to the 20k aid station. And at that point I filled up my water and he had gone off to have a pee, and I carried on running. And sort of, I didn't wait for him to catch me up, but I sort of slowed down a little bit so that he could come back to me once he started running again. And then he caught me back up and almost just blew past me. And he said to me after the race that at 20k, he decided that he needed to try and push on. And I actually, at that point, went through a bit of a dip. And I think that was partly mental because I was now in unknown territory. I hadn't run that far before in training. So I saw the gap started to form with him, and I really tried to stay with him, but it was just too much for me. And I said, okay, well, just keep him in sight, keep your pace up, keep eating, keep drinking. This patch will eventually pass. At 30 kilometers on this race, you're allowed to meet your support crew, and they get a bus out to that point. They can meet you there, and then if you've got somebody running with you or riding with you, they can join you from 30k's to the finish. Mark was there and he was allowed to then start giving me information. And part of it also for me was I'm in third. And that was, you know, when I was thinking, well, I don't know how far behind me the other guy is. And I'd really like to get a third place finish here.
Is the guy catching me?
The guy? Yeah. No idea, babe.
As well as being some really steep uphills on the run, there are also some really steep descents. And it's important to try to let go on those descents and not brake too hard, because towards the back end of the run, certainly when you come down into the 30k point, there's a really steep hill. And then after that, when you descend into the final valley, the final descent is really long and quite steep. You can see the waterfall in the distance, and it's an absolutely beautiful landscape. The last time I raced here, I'd found that section mentally really tough because the run is long. It's 46 kilometers, and the section after the waterfall is so flat and long, and you can see a long way into the distance, but you can't see the finish. And it just plays with your mind. You think, God, it's still a long way to go, and you're really starting to, dig deep at that stage. So the other thing is Mark knows the course really well. So he knows how far things are, but he was also on his commute app saying, okay, we're exactly here. So you've got exactly this many kilometers to the next point. Right, break it into this. The flags, you know where the flags are, and the road curves around towards the end of the gravel section. It curves around, and then you can see these flags on the corner where you turn onto the tarmac before this final run in down to the finish. And he was making sure that I knew that just around the corner were these flags, and then I was going to hit the tarmac, and once you hit the tarmac, you're there.
Good job! Very well done. Very well done. Third overall.
It was then I started to relax and just think, okay, I need to enjoy this moment. I've been reliving this moment so often in my mind from 2022, and it was like I was able to enjoy it more this time and just be really present in that and enjoy crossing that line and ringing that bell, and I got really quite emotional.
Caroline, can we have your impressions? How do you feel today?
Oh, I'm delighted. What a race. I mean, this course tests you, makes you push so deep. It's just absolutely incredible, and I had a lot of doubt coming into the race. I've had a really tough year with injuries and surgery and everything. I didn't know if I could do it, I really didn't. So I'm just delighted. I pushed hard all day, and yeah, I'm really delighted. It was amazing. Thank you everyone for the support. This country, this town, this course, everything is amazing. Thank you, Chile. A few people asked me before the race whether I was feeling the pressure and of expectation of coming back and being a previous champion. And I thought a lot about it because I didn't really feel that sort of pressure at all. But I asked myself, why am I back? What is it that has brought me back to this race? And it wasn't really until after the race that I was able to articulate it, because reliving that experience of Patagonman was so poignant for me. And I said to people afterwards, it was almost like when you go and see a movie a second time and you're able to enjoy it more because you sort of know what's coming, and you can process it all more slowly, and it feels like I was living that day in high definition and being able to enjoy and see more things and feel more things and just be a lot more present in the race. And Patagonman is something that is beyond just the triathlon, beyond the course, beyond just the race. It's the whole experience that they've created here, which makes it so special and so mystical and magical, that it captivates people and captures the imagination of athletes and crews and people watching it. And being able to have the opportunity to race it again, to be fit enough and healthy enough to race it again, and to have a really amazing day again was really special. One of the things I noticed this year is that people are bringing more and more crew and family and friends with them when they come to race here, and taking more time here to enjoy the region after. And I think it's really important to do that and to explore Aysén, the region, when you come to Patagonman. Give yourself enough time to go out and see things. There's so much to do here. Even just the open water swimming that we found, you know, the trail running, everything. It's a truly magical place.